Melissa with Edgecombe County 4-H. I'm doing this video as a how-to in order to set up the incubator for the upcoming at-home embryology project, as well as for the embryology project that is in the elementary schools in Edgecombe County. So stay tuned for some tips and instructions on how to set up your incubator for the project. Alright, so here's the incubator that we'll be using for this project. As you can see, it is a white styrofoam material with a hard plastic top. It also has a digital thermometer that will record the temperature constantly. If you don't have one with a digital thermometer, you can also use a mercury thermometer placed inside the incubator. Also, down in the bottom of the incubator is a plastic tray that will hold the water to keep the moisture high inside the incubator while it's turned on, as well as a metal rack or wire rack that will hold the eggs once they are put inside. It plugs into an electrical outlet and will stay on for the entire process of the eggs being inside. You also want to make sure that the room that the incubator is in stays at a constant temperature, at least above 60 degrees. It'll help with the regulating of the temperature inside of the incubator, as well as make sure that it is placed in an area that does not have direct sunlight, as that will heat up the inside and end up getting too hot for the eggs. When setting up your incubator, you will want it on a flat surface, and you will place the plastic tray down into the bottom, and this is where you will put your distilled water to keep your humidity high in your incubator. Once you put the distilled water into the incubator, you can put the wire tray right on top. This is where the eggs will sit, that way they are not touching the water. And then you'll put the top securely on to where it fits nicely down into the grooves. You will want this to be closed completely in order to keep the heat inside the incubator. You will want the incubator to be set at a temperature between 99 and 101 degrees Fahrenheit. I have now plugged in the incubator, and you can see that the light came on, indicating that it is heating up. It tells you your humidity, your temperature, and what the temperature is set to. Now, like I said, you will want this temperature to be set between 99 and 101 degrees Fahrenheit. You will want your incubator set up at least one day prior to putting your eggs into it. This will ensure that it is set at the proper temperature and humidity settings. Alright everyone, now once you get your incubator set up and you're ready to put your eggs inside, you will start by labeling your eggs, so when it comes time to turning, you know which side they were just on, which side they need to be on. So we'll take our egg, and they are a porous shell, so make sure you have clean hands, and use a pencil instead of a marker, or you could also use a crayon, but we're just going to mark an X on one side of the egg. It doesn't have to be pretty, of course. And then we're going to turn it to its side, not end over end, and on this side we'll just mark an O, just so we know that they're different, and we'll mark all of them and place them a little bit separate from each other in the incubator. And then when it comes time to turn, we will know which side needs to be up. So when we come back, we'll start with the O side up, and then when we come back, we'll mark the X side and have the X side up. You'll want to turn them 2 to 3 times a day, and make sure that you are turning them side over side instead of end over end. So X and O. And so now, as you can see, I have all my O sides up. So when we come back and we turn them later, we'll have all the X sides up, and that makes sure we know which ones we've turned and which ones that we haven't.